have a question for you. How many times have you been close to buying a hair product or using a hair product on your hair and you stopped because you weren't sure if it had protein in it or not? If that's happened to you several times, don't worry, you're not alone, because I have had that happen to me plenty of times and I still do. And I know many other relaxer ladies have this happen as well. And how do I know? Because I'm in several relaxed hair Facebook groups and I see posts all the time of women actually asking, does this product have protein in it? I also get those comments on reviews that I do on other types of content that I put out there. Is this product a protein product? Does it have protein ingredients? And while that's great, and I love women reaching out and asking these questions, I just don't think it's a time-efficient way to do it, because I know for me, I'm not one who responds immediately because I've got other things that I'm doing. So you could be waiting hours or days for a response, and that's not helpful if you're literally in the store as you're asking this question and posting it, or you're in the middle of washing your hair and you're like, ugh, should I use this product or not? You could be sitting there for hours or days waiting for an answer. Plus, if you do get answers quickly, you might have to sift through the answers that you're getting to see, like, is this even answering my question? Is this helpful? It can be very confusing. Hi, I'm Mielle, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share how I tell if a hair product has protein ingredients in it so that you're able to do it yourself as well. Now, before we get to the nitty-gritty, let's back up a little bit and level set on what protein is and what it does for our relaxed hair. So our hair, all hair, is made up of proteins, which gives the hair its structure and strength. So without protein, our hair can feel very limp, lifeless, and weak, which makes it susceptible to damage. Now, on the flip side, you can sometimes have too much protein on your hair by using way too many protein products. And so that makes our hair feel dry, stiff, and is also making it susceptible to damage. And when it comes to proteins, there are so many different kinds that can help our hair, but some of the more common ones that you tend to see in hair products, and the ones that I'm going to talk about, are in a few different families. And one of those is hydrolyzed proteins. Now, you see this a lot in hair products ingredients, and these are proteins that are made up of smaller molecules and proteins that we can get from the food that we eat. Because of this, hydrolyzed proteins can penetrate the hair follicle better than other proteins, and they can put a clear, flexible film over our hair, which can help slow down water loss, which helps keeps the hair more hydrated. Now, some other proteins we also commonly see are collagen, which helps add elasticity to our hair. There's keratin, which adds shine, and amino acids, which help fill in the gaps in the cuticle and help to strengthen and moisturize our hair. All right, now that I've explained what protein is, the benefit of it for relaxed hair, what are the most common types of proteins, it's now time to get down to the nitty-gritty, and I'm going to list out the actual protein ingredients that I look for when I am purchasing or using products on my hair. First up, we've got hydrolyzed protein, which I kind of talked about, but hydrolyzed protein comes in so many different types. You can have soy, wheat, or oat hydrolyzed proteins. There's also hydrolyzed keratin, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, hydrolyzed collagen. And then there's also another hydrolyzed protein that I can't even pronounce what the beginning of it is, but it's up here on the screen for you to see, and that comes in a collagen and keratin form. Additionally, we will also just see keratin by itself. You might see things such as amino acids, which come in silk, milk, and wheat forms. You might also see a few others, but looking at the hair products that I have, silk, wheat, and milk are the most common ones, it seems, for amino acids. You also have these things called peptides as well that you'll see. And then there's something else that I cannot pronounce that I'm putting up here on the screen that comes in wheat, silk, and keratin form. And then there's also yeast extract. Now, while this is a lot, this is not necessarily an exhaustive list, but it is pretty much the most common ones that you will see in pretty much the majority of hair products that we use on our hair. So now that we have our list of proteins to look for, we're all set, right? Not quite. There's one other thing that I really like to look at when I'm looking at an ingredient list. So I'll see, okay, this has protein in it. It might have 1, 2, or 3, however many proteins in it. But then the thing I also look for is how far down the ingredient list the proteins are. Now, if you look online, there's varying reports, but it seems to be, if you kind of boil it all down, the first 5 to 10 ingredients are typically the most concentrated. So the further down the list, the less impact the ingredient will have on your hair. So if your protein ingredients are within the first 5 or 10 ingredients within the ingredient list, kind of depending on how long the list is, it's going to be more impactful to your hair, and your hair is actually going to feel it versus if the ingredient list has it like all the way down at the bottom. So hair products that have protein ingredients towards the top of the list are more rich in protein. Because I went through a period of time where I was using way too much protein on my hair, pretty much every hair product I was using had protein ingredients, and the protein ingredients were near the top of the list, I got what is called protein overload. So I got a lot of damage from my hair from that, and so now I am more cautious and careful now about reading the ingredients of the products I buy and use. That doesn't mean though that I don't use any hair products with protein. I'm just careful about what proteins are in it and where those proteins sit in the ingredient list. So some of the products that I use on my relaxed hair that do have some protein ingredients in them are the TGIN Buttercream Moisturizer. It is hydrolyzed soy protein, but it's not within the top 10 ingredients. I also use the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo. It is hydrolyzed keratin, and then also this, which I cannot pronounce, but it's also another form of hydrolyzed keratin in it. And both of those are not in the top 10 ingredients either. And then the last product is the Mielle Mongongo Oil Thermal and Heat Protectant Spray. Now this has hydrolyzed wheat protein, which is pretty far down in the ingredient list. It's pretty much near the bottom. So while these products have protein in them, and I use them on a weekly or even a daily basis when it comes to the buttercream moisturizer, I don't have a lot of negative impacts because the protein is further down the list, so it's not as impactful for my hair. And then also a few of these products also have moisturizing agents and conditioning agents within them that kind of helps to balance the protein that's in the product. Additionally, the rest of my hair products are protein free, so that really helps as well by just I'm adding just a little bit of protein to my hair regimen, but not doing it too much because the products have it lower down on the list, and I'm using more moisturizing and hydrating products for the rest of my hair regimen. If you'd like to see more about any of the products used in my hair regimen, I'll drop a link down in the description box where you can see everything that I use on my hair. Alright, so that's all that I have for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Feel free to refer to it as you look through your hair products or even as you purchase a new hair product and want to know if it has protein in it or not. And I also have a link down below that you can sign up to get a little postcard cheat sheet that I created that lists all of the protein ingredients that I mentioned in this video. If you did like this video and found it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to also share it on your social channels. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.